I'm an old, broken down piece of meat, and I'm alone.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Screenshots, the Drinking Game Movie Podcast. We just got back from seeing The Iron Claw. Johnny, what's it about and what's it making?
What's it about, right?
Yeah,
so apparently the wrestling is happening.
Yes.
Right?
Somewhere in this movie.
And there's a family who's making wrestling happen.
Yeah, they are.
And they were called the Von Ericksons. Yes. And like Ericksons, like Leif Erikson?
Leif Erikson?
No, it's not Eric. It's Von Erich.
Yeah.
And so their dad was a big wrestling guy back in the day, and then now he's just breeding his sons to be the best wrestlers of all time.
Breeding was a weird word to use, but yeah,
well, that's what you do when you're having children for a business-like purpose, I guess.
Yeah.
And then their family gets cursed, or they think there's a curse in their family, and after their many successes, they start to fall on many hardships.
There we go. That's the podcast.
Yes, that's what the movie's about. And box office-wise, guess the budget.
The budget, $200 million.
That's a serious guess.
Well, because Zac Efron's a pretty big star.
What?
I don't know how this movies work.
Do you know how movies work? Okay.
I beat you to it.
Literally 20. It's $20 million.
20 million?
Why $200 million?
Because there's really big stars in this.
I can't. That was a really bad.
20 million.
That was a really bad guess by you. So, Box Office Pro had it last weekend at a range of $2 to $5 million in the 3-day weekend.
Okay.
And I can't find I can't find any box office forecast for this weekend for the movie. And I saw one guy say it's going to make $8 million over the 4-day weekend, which would be it would be okay given the $20 million budget, but also it's releasing during Christmas.
Yeah.
And usually Christmas movies have that release date where they can get a lot of legs out of their runs. So Box Office Pro is saying it could open between 2 and 5, but it can make 10 to 26 million if it opens around there.
Oh, okay.
So 4-day weekend, maybe the 3-day weekend would be like 6 million. Maybe it can get to 25, 20. That'd be nice. And worldwide, I don't know internationally what it's going to do, but it could make some money. But should we get into the movie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now listen, about the movie. I am a guy.
That's
of course.
it.
I'm a man, in fact. I am a man who believes in the idea that a man should wake up every morning without an alarm clock. Just wake up at 6 a.m. hard every morning.
Hard. Wake up hard.
He gets up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He gets up. He cracks 2 eggs in a glass, slams it, has a steak and eggs for breakfast, and he gets his strongest son to punch him in the belly to make sure he's still tough.
Yeah.
He never has gay thoughts.
Not once.
Never. And he never cries under any circumstances.
Zero.
Ever. But if a man is going to cry at a movie, it should be The Iron Claw.
Yes.
Because it's the manliest movie that you can possibly cry about.
100%. I definitely got
that's our review.
It definitely was a tearjerker towards the end. Like for multiple times in the movie, but the end kind of killed me.
Yeah. Like sometimes, a movie, like if you cry I cried during The Notebook.
He cried during James Bond.
I cried when James Bond died. But I cried during The Notebook, right? And that's even though I'm very, confident in myself. When I tell people I cried at that movie, they're still like, oh, I cried at The Notebook.
Yeah.
But when you tell people that you cried at
The
Iron Claw, it's like, no, it's the manliest movie of all time.
And it sounds cool, too.
Yes. Is that the review, Mark? Do you want to continue?
Well, I was adding to your thought.
Yeah. I'm done. What do you think?
Oh, you're done.
What do you
Okay.
think about the movie?
Yeah, I thought this movie, I didn't know what to expect, but it kind of blew me out of the water, man. Like, I actually really, really like this. I've never been a fan of this style of wrestling, so I didn't really know what we were going to go into. And I know, it's a performance. Like, wrestling itself is a performance, and I was wondering how they were going to explain the performance in the movie with these people that take it so seriously, as they should. It's their entire lives. So I didn't know what to expect, but I went in, and it's everything that I could have possibly guessed it would have been and more.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy with it. So I could only imagine, like, real fans of wrestling, what they think about this movie, because it looks like it does a fantastic job at explaining everything.
Yeah, like you mentioned, like, wrestling's fake, so how can I take this seriously? But the way that Zac Efron's character, Kevin, describes it in the movie.
Yeah, very well.
It's like, oh, I understand.
Yes.
It's not, again, it's like silly getting all these jacked guys to just get in a ring and they're all sweaty and they're slathering their hands all over each other.
Yeah.
It's like funny in that respect, but in terms of like what they take a hell of a beating, man. It's one of the toughest jobs. You're always on the road and you're just always getting smacked in the head. Oh my God. It's like worse than, maybe not worse than football.
I don't think it's worse than football, but
I mean,
when it comes to injuries, no way.
Yeah, but no, it's worse than football because you don't get paid as good and you're a private contractor.
I'd say that. Yeah, that's the other thing.
And then and then you can't get surgery when you're 60 because you have no money.
Being like a private contract and like having like no bargaining room on like how you're gonna get paid or like how often you're gonna be like employed or anything.
Yeah, we're not gonna review the movie anymore. We're just gonna do an expose on the WWE.
But they go into that in the movie about
Yes.
how hard it is to actually make any kind of living, and we see that like you can't make a living doing this very well. Yet, like their father's pushing them to do it, and what I like about this movie is, which is basically the entire thing, is the juxtaposition between the way the brothers' relationship is like really, really like
Strong.
loving and strong, whereas the father's relationship with his sons are like, oh, that's manipulative, that's weird.
The dad sucks.
He's a
And it's
horrible
not
person.
even like he's tough on them. Like he's tough on them, but he's tough on them as a result of him being insecure about his own emotions.
Yeah,
We'll get to exactly the specifics of that. But like his character is bad.
yeah,
But he's not a bad because the point of the character is that you don't like him. Like he's not a terribly written character. He's a well written character because you don't like him.
And it's funny because the character's actions, although it's like you see him like, oh, this is like a man's man. It's like, but he's the wimpiest character of the entire movie because of his actual motivations.
Yes, and I will say the strong the bond between the brothers really resonated with me because
Here it goes.
as
Here it comes.
as a physically imposing, very muscular man with big dumb hair, I really resonated with these guys on screen who are just like me, who have this big dumb hair and they're wearing crop tops and they're in shape and stuff like that.
Whitey tighties.
And I'm like, oh my God, these are my brothers. I need to have these as brothers right now. And the whole thing about like their bond, but on a serious note, their bond between Jeremy Allen White,
yes,
Harris Dickinson, who I think it might be the best performance in the movie. Zac
Which
Efron's
brother was
very
that?
good. He was David with the straighter blonde hair. He was like the
Gotcha.
skinnier one. And then the kid, what was his name? Like Stanley Simons. They all had a great chemistry with each other, and
They
that
really
was
did.
Obviously it's the main thing of the movie that works very, very well.
Yeah, there was this one scene when they're all together going out, they're like just having fun together. And the chemistry between them is so well done. To me, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if the director would just like put the camera there and just, hey, just hang out a little bit. Because in some parts, I'm like, that looks good. And, scenes when like they're on a ranch or farm or whatever, and just seeing them just like use that setting as just like, this is our home. It feels real. Or when they sit down and eat breakfast together, when they're eating dinner, or when they introduce each other, they hug each other. It all feels very, very real. It's convincing.
One thing that doesn't feel real in movies when you have a guy who's like clearly taking steroids and jacked.
Yeah.
And he goes and sits down to eat dinner, and he's like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when Brad Pitt just eats mac and cheese for dinner.
Yeah.
I know you're not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You're eating like, and then in this movie, I'm paying attention to what Zac Efron's eating, and I'm like, he better be eating the right stuff. He gets bacon and eggs. I'm like, all right, that works because it's high protein.
Yeah, and there's a lot of eggs, by the way. There's
so many eggs.
So much bacon, too. I was like, damn.
There's so much bacon.
Damn.
He didn't even touch the sausage,
He
dog.
didn't touch anything. There's this one part of this movie, and we'll go back to the more serious stuff, but there's this one part where Zac Efron's character brings home his love interest, right?
Yes.
And the dad's like, oh, you better lock her up, man. They're gonna want her or something. Like that.
Because if you put her down, somebody else is bound to pick her up.
Imagine like your dad saying that. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's like Norman Osborn and Spider-Man. Like, do what you need to her, and then
Yes.
her fast.
Which goes back to like who the dad is. He's all vanity, and he's like he wants the look of it. He's vain, and because even towards the end, this is spoilers, so I'm not gonna say too much. Even at the end, he was still, when he had no say in his sons' lives, he was still trying to control their decisions. You know, and
then when it was time for him to like, and when he was trying to control their lives, and then when it was time for them, for him to help them when they needed his help, he'd be like, "It's your business. Shut up.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it."
And
like,
that's
dude, you suck, pal.
Oh my gosh! And
He's a big old
that
suck
happened
bag.
at least 3 times in the movie where they say, "Hey, Dad, we need to do this thing." He's like, "It's your problem." The mom even said that, and here's the thing: you notice this at the end. It's like the mom is afraid of the dad. She is not only afraid of the dad a little bit, but she also knows that's like she can't say too much, otherwise the dad's gonna throw a fit. Because there's one scene where she's like, she compliments him, but she's saying it as like, "What the fuck are you doing?
She's like, what happened to you,
be
pal?"
my husband." You know?
Well, she's talking about how great of a guy he used to be.
Yes.
And she's doing it with like a wink of like he used to be.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, so it's like she's a little scared and upset that this is where her life is.
I remember I never watched it. I watched like the beginning of the trailer, and then I shut it off because I was like, all right, this looks good. I don't want to know that much about it. And I saw like comments on the internet of like, oh, what happened to this family is just so sad. And I was like, I don't want to know anymore. And then going into the movie, like when I talked about the curse that they think is on the Von Erichs, is like the way they handle that. It sort of has like a Goodfellas structure where it's like the first half his business is booming, and then at the midpoint, it all starts to change and everything slowly crumbles.
Yeah.
And just watching the inevitability of this curse take over the family and what happens when you know that something bad is about to happen, the suspense that the movie's able to build just with everything. A character's like, I'm gonna go do this, and you're like, oh shit, is it gonna happen?
Yeah.
Is something bad gonna happen?
Well,
That's the whole
I
whole half of the movie.
I didn't realize like the curse was a thing. Like when Zac Efron says to his love interest, what's the character's name?
Kevin.
No. What's his love interest's name?
Anna?
Anna, I don't know.
I don't know if it's Anna.
Let's just was she when he told
Pam.
her Pam. When he told her about the curse, I didn't realize that was gonna come back up.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was just saying that because like we had no evidence to say like, oh, there's a curse. Like, oh, what, the dad just didn't get a shot? Oh, big curse. And then it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like maybe this is real. This is serious. And there's a little bit of not like mystical stuff or like magic, but there's this kind of like tone that the curse puts into the movie. And then there's this one scene we'll talk about in spoilers, which I want to ask your opinion on, because I feel like when movies do this kind of scene, it's kind of a big, like, not risk, but like, oh, do we want to include that? Because that kind of makes this movie something else. And we'll get to that in spoilers. But so you were satisfied
when
with
Tony
this?
Stark made the cameo, right?
Stop.
What? Oh, I'm sorry, we're not in spoilers.
No. But you like the movie,
It's
though?
me, the Iron Claw.
The Iron Claw.
I didn't even realize the iron.
Oh my
Iron
gosh,
Man.
Iron Man. Oh my gosh. But no, so you liked the movie though?
Yeah, I thought this is my second favorite movie of the year.
This is really. What was your first?
Can you guess? It's so obvious you have no idea.
Expendables 4.
Oppenheimer.
I know. I'm kidding. I didn't even think of Oppenheimer. I was making a joke about
Yeah.
Expendables. What was that other one? There was Oppenheimer, Napoleon. We can't
The
get
Killer,
into
Napoleon,
Killer.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
it. Killers of the Flower Moon. You know, but of course Oppenheimer. Anyway, though, but
All dad movies.
I thought this was a great movie. This was awesome.
Yeah, I really liked it a lot.
And
I thought it was rather excellent.
yeah, this really was. I'd have to put. I said when the movie ended, I was like, that's really good. But we say a good is like a 7 though, right?
Good is a 7, great is an 8, and fantastic is a 9. This is a fantastic.
This
me.
is so good.
One last thing.
Okay.
Zac Efron in this movie.
Yeah.
Is so muscular
Yes.
that it's comical because he's so muscular to the point where it defines his being at this
Yeah.
point. I don't know how I didn't finish the word. I said ja. I don't know how big he was, the guy in real life, but Zac Efron in this movie is like a bodybuilder
He's
almost.
fucking nuts. I would have liked.
But no matter what clothing he wears, you can tell that he's just all muscle still.
Yeah.
So it defines his entire existence. Like it's almost
Yeah,
comical.
yeah.
He's having a funny scene, and then you just see like veins coming out, just all the striations in his shoulders, and you're like, oh wait, what's going on?
I would have.
I'm not. This is kind of like a joke.
I would have
criticism.
liked to seen him be this big without his new jawline. Because like to see like what
Oh,
his
yeah,
body
yeah.
actually would have looked like would have been cool.
Yeah.
All right, how are we gonna rate it?
Should we just do like we did with Thor?
How many-
How many? Or was it Thor?
Uh,
Oh no, it was Ant-Man Quantumania. How many syringes are sticking out of Zac Efron's butt
yeah. Okay.
from the
Yeah.
steroids?
Yeah.
How many steroid syringes are sticking out of Zac Efron's butt?
Yeah, we
Also,
can
what
do that.
word did I say earlier?
Curse.
Oh, okay, you didn't tell me.
Sorry. All right. How many syringes?
Oh, 9 syringes out of 10. He's got 4 on his left butt cheek and then 5 on his right butt cheek. And I expect to see Zac Efron's naked butt cheek in the graphic for the rating scale on the video.
Okay.
And if I don't, I'll be very disappointed.
Yeah. Okay. I'll probably give it a. I'm gonna be better than you and give it a 9.1.
Okay.
So go ahead. What's the total?
It's a 9.05. Boom, trademark and
Boom,
screenshot. Do
there
whatever
you
you want
go.
with it. Is that bigger than Oppenheimer's score?
I'm not sure.
Oppenheimer had to be over a 9.
I'm not
I
sure.
think I gave that like a 9.
There were more people on the show for Oppenheimer though, so it's
That's true.
Spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Freak Show! You're going nowhere! I got you for 3 minutes! 3 minutes of playtime!
So I want to get your opinion on the
I
heaven
disagree with you.
the heaven confirmed scene where all the brothers are in heaven, like, oh, we're hanging out now. It's like, how did you feel about that scene? Because
Well, you asked me, you go like, dude, are you sniffling? I said, no, I'm sweating through my eyes. bro." No, that was really sad.
it was very sad. I do like how
Water was running down my face.
I also do
I will
like
not
how
use
they
the word.
showed. I don't have.
I'm just saying. I'll use all the synonyms for this word. Oh, my eyes were gushing. There was tears rolling down my face.
I don't have.
All right, shut up.
Okay.
Go.
I like how they showed like the older brother, but he was like 4 years old. But
Yeah.
also, can you imagine living the rest of your eternity as a 4-year-old child?
Yeah, and they see Jack Jr. And when I saw Jack Jr., I lost it.
Yeah.
That's when I felt the tears. I'm like, oh shit, this is really sad.
When I cried was at the end when Zac Efron was looking at his family. I'm like, fuck, man, like
That was I wish there was like a build up, like because we cut to him watching his kids,
yeah.
and then it cuts to him and he's already sniffle, like he's already synonym for the word, tears running down his face. And I would have liked to see if we built up to him going like, and then his kids come over, they're like, "What's the matter, Dad?" And they're like, "No, you can do that." He goes, "I'm not supposed to do this in front of you." They're like, "No, come on, everybody does it." And then they're like, "We'll be your brothers," and I'm like,
fuck,
damn
bro. It was horrible.
What?
You said Dad. Man, that was rough. That was rough to sit through. Because not only it's like, okay, I lost my brothers, but I'm able to watch my brothers have each other. But also it's like my family is destroyed, but I have my own family.
Your sons have each other, not your brothers.
So, yes. My family is destroyed, but now I have a new family that's actually.
Mark, can you talk about the movie?
What
Not your real life.
About?
Stop talking about your real life, about how your family is destroyed, and talk about the real.
Oh no! Shut the fuck up. But no, shut up seriously, because we have because he has his family, he has his sons. It's just that alone would make you cry. But then he has so much more that would force or get him to be emotional. That
and also Zac Efron's performance in this. At first, you're like, oh, he's kind of like wooden, right? But then you realize, oh, he's like socially awkward a little bit.
yeah.
And then you realize that his dad's like, "Don't you ever deny? You better never sweat
How
your
old was
eyes
he
in
in
front
this
of me."
movie?
Who?
Zac Efron.
I don't know, but but you realize, oh, that he's just doing a intentionally restrained performance, because like there's a funeral scene and he's sitting there just
Yeah.
like a Homelander watching that movie or whatever. and then at the end you kind of see that all come out, and that's what makes it really emotional.
Yeah, man. The performances for everybody in this was incredible.
My favorite guy was David.
why?
That was Harris Dickinson. He was the one that ended up. He went to Japan,
yeah.
and because I was like, before the wedding scene, I was like, oh, he might be the best one. Like for some reason, he's like really compelling to watch. And then I saw that he threw up in the toilet. I'm like, God damn it, he's gonna die.
He's gonna die.
I was like, shit, I shouldn't have said anything.
I thought like one of the most rough ones. Like I know like dying is horrible, clearly, but like losing your foot, right, or being like basically lobotomized, like that
Oh,
is
that's
fuck, man, because you have to live like that, and then they both end up killing themselves. Like that's nuts, man. That was rough.
The scene when Zac Efron sees Carrie on the ground.
Yeah,
he just goes, "No!" I was like, God damn it.
He did exactly he killed himself the way you said you would if you had to.
What?
He shot himself in the chest.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Damn.
He didn't shoot himself in the head.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird that I know
He's
that about you?
literally me.
He's literally me. Carrie
I should
kills
make
himself.
A joke about that.
Oh my
That's a sad
gosh.
thing that actually happened.
But I think being the son that got a toxic shock syndrome, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That was nuts, man.
Because he got hurt. I was like, shut up. Stop being a baby. And then he went into a coma. I was like, oh, shit.
Which is weird because they were like, oh, it's routine surgery, but it just went wrong. And I was like, fuck, I had surgery a week ago. It's like, just
Can you
fucking...
imagine if you had, like, you saw this movie the day before your surgery?
Bro.
and then as the guy puts you under, he goes, all right, so I'm going to count down from 10. 10, 9, toxic, shock, syndrome, coma, bye.
Yeah,
That's
Jesus
what I would do if I was your
Christ,
doctor.
man.
Just make faces at you.
My fucking, it's funny about my surgery. I said to the anesthesiologist, how many seconds has someone ever lasted with anesthesia? He's like, 27. And I'm like, you're looking at number 28 right here. Next thing I remember, I was in a completely different room with a cast on.
You got the 2.
I was barely.
Hey, next time you're about to see number 20.
Yeah. That's literally what happened, bro. Fuck, man.
How'd you think about the physiques of all the brothers?
Incredible. I mean, like, unattainable, but incredible.
Well, Zac Efron was the only one who was really unattainable.
Yeah, the others are obviously...
Jeremy Allen White was like, you can tell he put some work in.
Yeah.
He was pretty...
But
the other two brothers, Harris Dickinson, I don't know if that was the point, like that he wasn't as big.
Yeah.
But then obviously the other brother who's just like a guitarist.
Yeah.
Guitarists are always unathletic.
Yeah.
We have a friend who's a guitarist.
You gotta put his
I hope he's
picture in.
watching.
But no, so I think about their physique though, that like, you know, when you like finish watching Rocky when you're 12, you're like, fuck, I gotta do something about my 12-year-old body.
Yeah.
It's like I watched this movie and I'm like, fuck, I suck. I gotta do something.
It made me
you
want to
know?
work out. I'm like, dude,
Right?
I can't wait to lift a
Oh
lot
my
of
gosh,
weight.
I'm so it
I want to do the
does.
thing in the basement when I leave because I haven't done that in a while.
It does make you want to work out so bad, you know. And
when I was in middle school, I used to watch Pain and Gain.
yeah,
No, I wasn't in middle school yet. It was
Pain and
2013.
Gain could
And
be
when I was in high
renamed
school,
the American Dream.
I used to watch the first 30 minutes of Pain and Gain and see everybody working out, and then I'd work out.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Or like where fucking Mark Wahlberg's like doing upside down sit-ups like, ah, ah,
I'm big.
I'm big.
I'm mean.
I'm mean.
Hot.
You could rename that movie The American Dream. It's the fucking best movie ever.
I mean, not the best movie ever.
It's like in a meme sort of way. It's the best movie ever.
I guess.
Just because it's
Michael Bay.
incredible. Yeah, no, this movie definitely exceeded my expectations. I would like to hear from an actual wrestling fan what they thought about it. Not just like from like what they think about the family and how much the family may or may not have like influenced the sport, which they did influence it. But also like what their stance is on how the movie explains wrestling and explains the way that things function. Because there's this one scene where it's like you mentioned how like Zac Efron talks about the ins and outs of actually doing this performance in the sport, and like it's scripted, but like it means something. It's like, okay, we get it. There's this one scene where Zac Efron's talking to the other wrestlers, and they're like, all right, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do, and whatever. And we're like, all right, we got it. Solid. We practice this. And they go out there, and they put on a great performance, and they come back in, and they're all buddies. And it's like, fuck, they're really good at looking like they hate each other.
Yeah.
And even with the Ric Flair scene.
Ric Flair just turns out to be a cool guy.
Yeah, he ended up being really cool, which makes me, I'm questioning, right? When Zac Efron's, Kevin's father was saying, like, you go in there, you got to get that belt. He's, like, saying all these, like, very direct words. He's not saying, hey, did you talk about your routine with Ric Flair? It was never like that, which confused me. Because, it's like, did the dad forget that this
it's
isn't
just
real?
Performance. Also, the dad's crazy and he sucks.
I don't know.
Also, that's what we were talking about before, where he would be like, I'm going to determine what's the control over your life, and you better say yes, boy.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, Dad, I think Kerry's going to kill himself. And then he's like, it's your business, shut up. And then he doesn't do anything.
Oh, you know what was
face.
the hardest line, the worst line in the entire movie?
What?
When the mom says, I think they'll know I've worn this before.
Yeah.
That was rough. When she's putting on her black dress for another son's funeral. It's like, what was exactly how she said? She said, like, everyone will know, like, I've worn it. That was rough.
Speaking of dad movies, dude, this is the total sad movie.
Yeah, this is the sad movie.
You said sad.
Guys, we'll see you on...
Are we going to do a movie recommendation?
Do you have one for this? Oh, okay. Good Lord. God, this movie was so good, man. This movie was so good. What about... Hold on, let me ask you... let me continue a little bit with the way Kevin explained away the curse to his wife. And
that was good. He's like, I want you guys to get it.
Yeah, it's like that's like he bought in hard that we have a curse, and what a satisfying ending seeing them at the end actually like make it through when she's pregnant again with their third child.
Just having a great time.
But I was like, I'm trying to figure out like I wonder what they did for a living because they have all this land, and the scene before he was like, I'm broke.
He sold to WWE.
Yeah, but like how long does that last? I wonder. I don't know.
He also wrestled.
But then we saw at the end where it's like they doing like documentary movies where it's like, and they all ended up doing these things.
Yeah. The Rock went on to become a successful movie star.
What a happy ending, man.
Yeah, I liked it.
What a happy.
Well,
and
I guess
they threw that kid in the air.
Dude, the kid. They show a picture of the family, and the kid is like 20 feet in the air.
the guy threw
him up like as a joke. Like you would throw him up like 2 feet. The kid is literally like 15 feet. And then the guy's arms are like at his side. Like it doesn't even look like, how did the baby get up there?
The curse continues.
Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
All right, movie recommendation.
Yeah, let's go.
The Wrestler. Darren Aronofsky directed it from 2008 starring Mickey Rourke. A fated professional wrestler must retire but finds his quest for a new life outside the ring a dispiriting struggle. Great movie. It was Mickey Rourke's comeback movie. He was in this movie, and then I think he won the Oscar or was nominated, and they're like, dude, you were so good in this movie, we need to give you the villain role in Iron Man 2, which I think is a great movie.
What? What kind of wrestling? Is it like this kind of wrestling?
Yeah,
or,
yeah. Except he's not doing like actual. He's doing like people's almost like he's like doing one tier above wrestling in people's backyards.
I'm upset, Johnny.
What?
You didn't choose the correct movie to recommend. Can you guess what it is?
Fighting with my family.
Nacho Libre.
Oh, fuck yeah! But Nacho Libre is too silly. Like this, the wrestler. They're both
Yeah,
sad movies.
I know.
There's a line in the wrestler where he's trying to reconnect with his daughter, and she's like, "You're an asshole." And he's like, "I'm an old, broken down piece of meat, and I'm alone, and I deserve to be all alone." And I'm like, poor fella.
Best to
He
Johnny.
sucks. Fuck. Dude.
All right, guys.
See you on the next one, Aquaman.
Word reveal. Wrestling dad, foot, curse, died.
Steroids, Jack, skinny, sad, and face.
Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.
Aquaman,
Peace.
bye.